Hey Aquarius, welcome to Step Into Yourself Tarot. My name is Savannah. Today I'm doing a monthly reading for you for August. I'm going to do probably an abbreviated Celtic cross and get some oracles as well as charms. I hope you're doing really well. Let's go ahead and get started with your reading. I'm going to start off with this oracle. Let's see here. I just got this deck and I'm loving it so far. All right, Spirit, allow me to tap into Aquarius's energy. We're looking at the month of August for Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to be mindful of in the month of August? Please allow any and all messages that are for the highest good of Aquarius to come through. See, Aquarius in the month of August, overarching theme, thoughts that Aquarius should embody in the month of August. Let's see, Aquarius in August. What does Aquarius need to know or be thinking about in the month of August? Let's do two more. Aquarius in August. Hope you're having a wonderful summer. Let's see. All right, that feels good. I'm gonna shake them out, Spirit. Aquarius in August. Aquarius in August. Just wanted to make sure something did not flip here. Okay. The burden of choice, choosing higher ground, consequences, unconscious choice making. Choosing higher ground, consequences, and choice making. The burden of choice. I feel like here Spirit's drawing attention to the need to actually be very conscious of decisions made. Recognize that when we're not making decisions, that is a decision. Choosing higher ground, consequences, unconscious choice making. I'm also being drawn to light and shadow. What remains in the dark will always come to the light. The burden of choice, number 43. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the consequence of fear, contraction, the frequency of fear, and self-fulfilling prophecy. Ooh, the consequence of fear, self-fulfilling prophecy. So self-fulfilling prophecy is the idea that we basically create our reality based on our thoughts. So if we are continually living in a state of fear or pessimism, that is the reality that we are going to create. And I feel like here for the month of August, Spirit is saying you have a choice. You have a choice. You can live in fear. You can live in the shadow and operate in that space, or you can operate in a space of light and empowerment and being conscious about decision making and making choices. Number 43 and number 20, the burden of choice and the consequence of fear. So I would encourage you to think about what fears do you have, and how are you embodying those fears in decision making, in choices, whether consciously or subconsciously or unconsciously. Okay. The burden of choice and the consequence of fear. There's a real need to go from the unconscious to the conscious. And perhaps it's just awareness. Perhaps it's awareness of deep-rooted fears that may be impacting you in your life in some way in the month of August. I'm also seeing a distinction between feeling like confined, that contraction with fear, versus choosing higher ground with the burden of choice, right? So I feel like it's a personal, there's an emphasis on, like, you create your reality. You can live in a state of contraction, or you can live in a state of higher ground and expansiveness. Okay, let's get a few charms for you. Can I get charms for Aquarius in the month of August? Charms. I just want a few. Okay. We have the letters S, X, K. We have the mask. So yeah, like, are you wearing a mask in some aspects of your life? Not wanting to see. We have the bat, so really making sure that we're picking up on the signals. We have the meditative hand, so there's a need to ground oneself. Also represents spirituality. We have the word blessed. We have the feathers, so really listen to your intuition. We actually have two feathers. We have the butterfly of transformation. We have the cornucopia, and we have the starfish. So big emphasis on intuition here, really grounding and centering yourself. And I think understanding the way that our mind and our thoughts shape our reality. So what do you want your reality to look like? Do you want it to be a reality of contraction or a reality of expansiveness for the month of August? All right, let's get into the Celtic Cross. What cards am I going to use for this? I think I'm going to use these. Okay. Abbreviated Celtic Cross for Aquarius for the month of August. Celtic Cross for Aquarius for the month of August. Celtic Cross for Aquarius for the month of August. Let's do one more, Spirit. Celtic Cross for Aquarius. That feels good. Messages for the highest good of Aquarius for the month of August. All right, Four of Swords right in the center, the core of your reading. That's healing energy. That's rest. That's taking a rest. That's taking a time out. What's crossing you? Two of Swords, some kind of decision. There it is. Two of Swords, a decision that you are facing. Burden of choice. What's crowning you? Six of Cups. Wow. Soulbound. Soulbound connection, soulbound energy. Let me pull these down a bit so you can see the cards. Recent past. King of Pentacles. Okay, really knowing what you want and making decisions accordingly. just because it's in the past does not mean that you cannot pull down from that experience or those characteristics. Okay, on the exit, 10 of Pentacles. Oh, stability. That's interesting. 10 of Pentacles. What is to come? 5 of Cups. Loss. Remorse. Feeling of sadness. And then let's get an overarching 9 of Wands. Yeah, there's some resistance, but you're pushing through. You're trying to push through. I think right now you are in a state of really wanting to, you're taking time, you're taking a rest, you are trying to gain new clarity surrounding a decision, the burden of choice, right? All right, let's get clarifiers. We're gonna start right at that 4 of Swords, which is you currently. Let's see. All right, show me that 4 of Swords for Aquarius. I like that you're taking a time out, deep rest, reflection, attempting to gain insight. 4 of Swords for Aquarius. 4 of Swords for Aquarius. Actually, before I get into that, let me look at this 9 of Wands. Let me look at the overarching. Let me see this 9 of Wands first, Spirit. Let me see this 9 of Wands. Where's this resistance? Wands. Let's do one more for 9 of Wands for Aquarius. Man. All right, 9 of Wands for Aquarius. 9 of Pentacles. There's that 2 of Swords again that's currently challenging you, and 9 of Pentacles. Wow, so there's a resistance to, I believe, standing on your own, standing in independence, standing in your empowerment, and really making decisions according to personal wish fulfillment and what would make you happy. The 2 of Swords is right in between the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. So personal wish fulfillment, personal happiness. There's a resistance to taking a look at, like almost like removing the blindfold regarding what will make you personally happy. Standing in your independence and your empowerment. There's a resistance to doing this. Okay, but I do see you going into, currently you're in a state of rest, quietness. The 4 of Swords is very silent. It's almost like I need time to think, I need time to process, I need time to really think about this. Let me see, 4 of Swords for Aquarius. Let's do one more, 4 of Swords for Aquarius. 4 of Swords for Aquarius. The Star, Queen of Wands, and Temperance. Wow. There's a lot of healing going on. Temperance, there's a lot of processing going on regarding passion, and the Star, What's your vision for your life? What's your desires? What's your desired pathway? Queen of Wands, the Star. What lights you up? What fires you up? What ignites that passion in you? Right now, there's so much healing and processing going on. Temperance, Four of Swords. That's time. That's time and that's healing, and it's beautiful energy. But I think you are contemplating. There's decisions that need to be made surrounding your pathway. Whatever that pathway may be for you. Two of Swords is crossing you. So that's the decision. And you show me that over here, Two of Swords in relation, right in between Nine of Pentacles, so personal empowerment and value and worth, and then Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment and happiness, personal happiness. So I think you're in contemplation about these things. And what decisions do I make for me that's going to fulfill me as an individual? Show me Two of Swords for Aquarius. Two of Swords for Aquarius. Let's do one more. Two of Swords for Aquarius. Four of Pentacles, the Devil, and Eight of Swords. Yeah, this is that feeling of constriction or contraction that was in your oracles, the consequence of fear. So holding back, Four of Pentacles, the Devil, Eight of Swords. It's like, I don't want to take a look at my fears. But your oracle says the consequence of fear, contraction, the frequency of fear, self-fulfilling prophecy. And right here, in terms of this decision, you're holding back from it out of fear. And you don't want to take a look at it. Eight of Swords, the Devil, Four of Pentacles. You're holding back from making a decision because of fear. And this could be a pattern of yours. It could be patternized behavior, right? I mean, you're an air sign, so we often get caught in the overthinking. And that's exactly what Eight of Swords is. It's overthinking and it's rumination. And you're doing so in terms of devilish patterns of behavior. And just getting, the more and more that you are feeding yourself these fears, the more you are going to create that reality for yourself, okay? And it's preventing you from making an appropriate decision because you're not opening up your eyes and seeing things very clearly, okay? So I think here, try to get outside of the head. And remember what I said in terms of choice and decisions. Excuse me. Not making a choice is also making a choice, right? Okay. What's crowning you is Six of Cups. So you have a soul bond connection that you could pull down from, possibly for support. This may be what's on your mind. What's crowning is always what's on your mind currently. So perhaps this decision is in regards to a soul bond, or it can be that there's a supportive person that you have very deep memories and a spiritual and emotional connection with, that can provide support. Let's see what the Six of Cups is for Aquarius. Six of Cups for Aquarius. One more. Six of Cups for Aquarius. Eight of Pentacles. There's that Nine of Wands. 10 of Cups. Wow. Yeah, you're resisting this connection. You're resisting investment in it. Even though you see it in the greater context of your life, 10 of Cups, you believe that it has greater meaning in your life, that it's personal, it's ultimate happiness. That's what the 10 of Cups is. It's emotional harmony and connection. And Eight of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, you could invest in this. You could invest in this soul bond, Six of Cups, but there's resistance there. Nine of Wands. And that Nine of Wands you show me over here in relationship to you standing as an empowered individual and your personal wish fulfillment. What would make you personally happy? So there's resistance to this. I'm not sure why, because you're showing me you could invest in it and you actually see the deeper meaning of this connection in your life, and that it would make you happy. It would make you personally happy. Yeah, let me see this King of Pentacles in the recent past. King of Pentacles. So knowing how to make decisions according to the world that you want. Let's see King of Pentacles in the past. King of Pentacles in the past. One more. King of Pentacles in the past for Aquarius. Knight of Pentacles, the Sun, Seven of Pentacles. So in the past, you were building into your happiness, the Sun. Knight of Pentacles, it was very slow and steady. You were building into what would make you happy. And then we have Seven of Pentacles. It could be that something stopped growing. Seven of Pentacles can be stagnancy. So it could be that, or it could just be that, you know, in the past you knew what you were doing. And there's that sense of like, I knew how to make decisions according to my investments, right? Seven of Pentacles. I invested in a particular pathway. I thought it brought me happiness. Yeah, that's more what I'm feeling. Like this was a pathway that I built into and I nurtured, and perhaps it stopped growing. Whatever that pathway is. But it was very slow and steady and built over a long period of time. And then on the exit, I see 10 of Pentacles, which is our tree of life. That's everything we are connected to. Let me see, 10 of Pentacles. It's everything we're connected to. So it's family, it's partnerships, it's community, it's resources, it's work, it's co-workers. 10 of Pentacles is large scale legacy and longevity. So I'm curious why it's on the exit. Ten of Pentacles, other than this is the pathway that you were building into that you feel like stopped growing in some way. Ten of Pentacles for Aquarius on the exit. 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. Let's do one more. 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles for Aquarius. 10 of Pentacles. Knight of Wands. 5 of Swords. Yeah. Some kind of argument. Some kind of argument. 5 of Swords. Knight of Wands. 10 of Pentacles. Some kind of argument regarding the foundation. I almost feel like possibly about the direction that you decide to go with that Knight of Wands. Let me see this 5 of Swords. I want to be able to get a little bit more clarity for you on this. What's this argument surrounding the foundation? Could also be overthinking. And we see that, right? Right in the core of your reading. And what's challenging you right now is kind of getting outside of your thoughts. That can also be the 5 of Swords. And here you might be showing me like, I'm no longer going to overthink the world that I want for myself and getting in my own way. Show me this 5 of Swords for Aquarius. Let's do one more. 5 of Swords for Aquarius. There's that 6 of Cups. Queen of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. 8 of Cups. Okay, so I do see you're saying here, I'm no longer going to overthink this connection. Remember that connection up here, that soul bond that I said? There's resistance to investing in it, even though they represent ultimate happiness, 10 of Cups, and emotional harmony and fulfillment. Here you're showing me you're walking away from your 10 of Pentacles, your foundation, because you want to nurture that connection. Queen of Pentacles, which is the counterpart to the King of Pentacles in your recent past, and that pathway that you were building into that represented happiness. 6 of Cups, that soul bond connection. So here I feel like you're saying, I need to emotionally detach from whatever your foundation is. You're not going to overthink this anymore. You're not going to resist this anymore. And you want to nurture this soul bond. And then we have 5 of Cups. In the near future, which represents sadness, right? So perhaps this walking away from the foundation creates sadness. Let's see. 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups. Show me the 5 of Cups for Aquarius. Five of Cups for Aquarius. You know, not all choices are easy. And even if they're the right choices for us, doesn't mean that they're easy or that they don't create pain even for ourselves, right? Let me see, Five of Cups. One. Why was I going to start counting? 1, 2, 3. I don't know. Five of Cups. One more. Show me Five of Cups for Aquarius. Six of Wands. 10 of Wands. There's the Three of Swords. Yeah, there's the pain. It's hard. It's hard to make this choice. You're showing me that. Five of Cups, 10 of Wands, Three of Swords. It creates pain in your heart. It's heavy. But Six of Wands, you also feel confident that this is right for you. You feel victorious for making this decision. But like I said, even if it's right for you, doesn't mean that it doesn't create pain for you. And I see that pain here. It's heavy. Five of Cups, it brings you sadness. 10 of Wands, it's a heavy burden to carry and it pains your heart. Three of Swords. But you do believe that the direction that you're headed with this decision is victorious, that you are victorious and that it's correct for you. Six of Wands. All right, so I do see you making a choice. Yeah, the Moon. It's like what you've been resisting. It's like the unknown. Justice, balance, what's correct for you. Perhaps what's correct for you, you've put underneath your moon because you didn't want to take a look at it, right? You didn't want to be in a position with the burden of choice. But remember, are you going to make choices that contract you and keep you confined, or are you going to make choices that expand? That's expansive to you. That's that Six of Wands energy, expansion. Yeah, Knight of Cups. There's the deliverance of the heart space. Okay, let's get a few more charms and then I will get advice for you, Aquarius. Let's get more charms for Aquarius. All right, we have BRQ. Is that B? Yeah, BRQ. We have the angel. You are guided, being guided and protected. You have a starfish, so listening to that intuition. We have that tree of life here. We have the anchor. What are you anchoring yourself to? We have the cross, actually 2 crosses of commitment. We have 2 stars. Remember, you showed me the star at the core of you. There's 2 stars, that star pathway, the life that you desire, the pathway that you desire for yourself. We have the butterfly of transformation. We have the keyhole. Yeah. What doors will you unlock? And we have the trumpet, so the sign of judgment, the sign of decision making. All right, let's get some advice for you. Let's get advice for Aquarius. 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 All right, there's that Five of Cups, Four of Swords, Page of Swords. Yeah, continue. Right now you're in that resting space. Continue gaining new insights in that space and healing. Queen of Swords. Yeah, communicate the insights that you've gained in that Four of Swords energy. Page of Swords, Four of Swords, Queen of Swords. Really process the insights that you're gaining and what you're learning as you are taking a step back and really processing and healing. And then be able to communicate those insights. Queen of Swords. And then we have the High Priestess. Really rely on your intuition. Rely on your knowing, your sense of knowing. Love this. And then at the bottom of the deck, Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, change, divine lessons. But yeah, the Wheel of Fortune represents time, and it represents change that is to come. All right, let me get one final oracle for you. I'm gonna actually pull one from here and then one spirit message to close out your reading, Aquarius. One more for Aquarius. One more for Aquarius. She who enfolds, swathe, embrace, and self-care. Yeah, take care of yourself. I feel like you are beginning to unfold, beginning to blossom, beginning to gain insights and gain understanding. Those walls of resistance are coming down. Continue in that process. And also pay attention to the self, right? It's not selfish to make decisions according to what you desire and what you deem as happiness, right? Final spirit message for Aquarius. But like I said, choice is not always easy. Doesn't always feel good. Even when we make decisions that are correct for us, doesn't always feel good. But empowerment is making the decisions that are right for us and not shying away from them and not remaining blind to them, right? Or remaining in states of stagnation. All right, final spirit message for Aquarius. If you are noticing changes within you, it's because you are leaving the old version of yourself behind. You are elevating and shedding unnecessary layers. Old cycles are ending and new beginnings are on the horizon. You deserve this new chapter. I love this for you, Aquarius. Yeah, continue with the next phase of your journey. I think you're in a beautiful contemplative state right now, and I think the more and more that you heal and that you rest, you're going to gain new insights, and those walls of resistance are going to come down. I see that, and you'll make the choices that are correct for you. All right, Aquarius, I hope that this helped you. Take care.